Dear children, today we are here to revise Mother's Day by J.B. Priestley. Let's do a quick revision. It's a play which has the major characters Mr. George Pearson, Mrs. Pearson, Annie Pearson, Doris and Cyril, their son and daughter, and Mrs. Fitzgerald, a lady who knows some Eastern magic. And the two ladies are friends. Now the two ladies are friends, and Annie Pearson, who is 40 plus, constantly worries about her family, her children and her son and her duties in the household. Also, she is very bothered about how she is not treated respectfully. They don't understand her needs and desires, and she talks to Mrs. Fitzgerald. Now Mrs. Fitzgerald is a very broad-minded lady who has seen the world. She says that she knows how to change the personalities of two people, and she suggests that she should change the personality of Annie so that her family has a taste of their own medicine, and they change personalities, though Annie is not very willing. Still, the personalities are changed and Mrs. Fitzgerald leaves. Now, when the children come home, they are shocked to see their mother in a different avatar. The lady is smoking, drinking, not doing any of the work. She has not even prepared the tea, which is a symbol of her household duties. She is not ready to do any ironing. She has a word of her own, a mind of her own, which she expresses. The children are very, very bothered, and they are waiting now for their father to come home. The father is even more shocked. He is given honest, blunt opinions. The tea is not there, and they are very, very disturbed. Then Mrs. Fitzgerald, who is now Mrs. Pearson, comes in and sees the chaos. There is a lot of confusion and chaos, and suddenly they change personalities. Now Annie has realized that she has to be firm, gentle but firm, caring but demanding, and she has to have a place in the household where she is respected and her demands, her needs are also met. So she puts up some terms and conditions. The family now also sees how they have been hurting their mother, not respecting her, taking her for granted, and they agree to her terms and conditions, and they live peacefully. Then there is a rummy game organized. The family doesn't leave for their work or their dates or anywhere else. They all spend a cozy evening together. This is the story in a gist. Now you have again mostly short answers and long answer questions from these. Some answers may be simple, like what duty of husbands, sons and daughters does Mrs. Fitzgerald talk about? These are very simple, are mentioned in the opening lines of the story, that the husbands and daughters should take care of their wives or their mothers, respect them and understand their demands, their needs, and be sensitive to them and not take them for granted. Now what change does Doris observe in her mother? This is a contextual question. You must remember how Doris reacted, what changes did she see, and you have to mention. Like, she saw that the mother was not ironing her things, her dress, and she was not even approving of her boyfriend, and she was behaving in a very different manner. She was smoking pot, drinking stout, and she was playing cards, which was uncharacteristic of her mother. So she was disturbed. Now in the story, this might be an explanation of a line or a expression. Say in the story, Cyril calls Mrs. Fitzgerald a silly old bag. How does Pearson react? Now remember that this Mrs. Pearson is actually Mrs. Fitzgerald, so she does not at all like it and thinks that Cyril is not a very well-mannered person. That's what you have to write. What was Mrs. Fitzgerald's final warning to Mrs. Pearson after they exchanged the... Now you remember that this is the contextual question. You have to remember that this is after they exchanged the personalities back to the original ones. So what she said was that she should not fall soft again, and she should reiterate herself like she has done, and otherwise all the work will be spoilt. Now what message does the play convey? It conveys that we should respect our women, we should not take them for granted, our mothers and the ladies who work in the house and don't do a job also actually do a full-time job which is unpaid. So we should give them their due respect, treat their demands and their needs with care, and help them have a good position in the family where they don't feel frustrated. Now, this play is this kind of a long answer question you might face. This is a textual question. It can be converted into a value based answer also. The play is a humorous and satirical description of a mother in the family. What are the issue it raises? Do you think the concerns are genuine? Does the play resolve the issues? Do you agree with the resolution? Now, this is a very, very important question. There is a whole description of the play that you have to give. What are the issue that it raises? The issues that it raises are, obviously it is the issue about the mother being not treated well in the household, being taken for granted. And do you think the concerns are genuine? Yes, the concerns are genuine. It is not a mockery of motherhood or a mockery of the position of the women in the house. It is a very genuine concern that we take our mothers or our housewives for granted. We don't consider that they have been working all day long and we impose our demands and our needs on them, but we don't take care of their needs, their expectations, their feelings. This is what you have to write. Now, does the play resolve the issue? Yes, it does resolve the issue, though in a humorous way, but the family obviously realizes their mistake and how they have been mistreating their mother, not respecting her, not thinking about her at all. So, the family is we agree with the resolution because the family then comes to a harmonious way of living where the mother is also looked after.